Okay, now we have some pretty good error conditions happening. We've checked to make sure the user has typed an int, and we exit out. If so, we return from the main. We also check to make sure that the user's number is in a good range. But let's say that we want to refine this one a little bit. So in the interest of time, I would like to make sure that the user's number is between 1 and 10, say. Okay, so I'm going to edit this. Is greater than or equal to 1 and less than or equal to 10. So this is my valid range. Now, that means that my two error conditions are, so error conditions are less than 1, greater than 10. So if this number meets either one of those error conditions, I know that there's an error. This is a great time to use a logical operator. And if you have looked at the textbook, you can see that the logical operators are and, or, and not. So, and they work just the same way they work in English. So this means that the correct values are user num is greater than or equal to 1 and user num is less than or equal to 10. So this would be a condition that would check for correctness. The opposite is to check for the two error conditions, either one of these. So incorrect values are user num is either less than 1 or user num is greater than 10. You can't have user num be less than 1 and greater than 10. It's mathematically impossible. So you have to be a little careful when you're constructing your logical operators. But this is what those logical operators look like. In this case, we're only using one test. But if I need to connect them together like this, the easiest way to do that is a logical operator. User num is greater than or equal to 1 and user num is less than or equal to 10 if I'm trying to test a range like that something's in range. If I'm trying to test the error cases, then I can use or statement to see if it's fallen off either one of those ranges. In a moment, we'll see what it looks like if I don't use a logical operator, but this is the easiest way, so I want to show you that first. This one, it's just as easy as adding that other one to the other end. That is, and then I try to keep the user not be confused here between 1 and 10. Okay. And then I've exited that. If I didn't want to use a logical operator for some reason, this is equivalent. I'm just going to write it here so you can say this is the same thing. This is the same thing as above. Start with this one. There's a bunch of different ways you could do this. This is one way. Same thing again. I don't like this because you can see all this duplicate code, so this starts getting really messy. So this is why I would prefer to use a logical operator in this case. Just one more note, if I do meet this error condition here, I won't actually reach this code ever because of the return statement. So to test this, I would have to take the return out to even fall down into this block. I would say in general, you're probably always going to want to, almost always in this class, you're going to want to use logical operators, so this is a good time to start practicing them. Okay, let's make sure it works. Uh, 89. Okay, please use a number that's between 1 and 10. So this is an example of using logical operators. To review, and when you want to make sure that both of these things are true, so for and, both of the sides have to be true. For or, it's either one of these sides can be true in order for the whole statement to be true. And finally, you can always use not to negate or to flip the value of something from true to false, or from false to true.